this? Why do you want us to do this for you? And I replied, the point is to make new acquaintances through, making art, approaching someone, hey, let's draw each other, it's a good way to meet people and whatnot, make new acquaintances, become more familiar and a little bit friendly within our neighbors. And they immediately caught on to the point and responded very positively to it. And Marianne decided that she would go ahead and draw me while Al took my camera so that he could take a picture. And, during this time, I attempted to make some small talk and whatnot to just kind of lighten the mood a bit. And they both kind of hid behind their assignments. Marianne basically hid behind the pencil and the drawing pad so she didn't have to really make conversation, just getting it over with basically. And Al kind of hid behind the camera, used the complexities of the technology he wasn't familiar with to hide behind as well. So it was a bit of an uncomfortable situation, but I kept my smile on.
My experience started out by kind of a bait and capture kind of experience. I was lounging, or appearing to be lounging, in my uncle's apartment courtyard, and I had my artwork out in front of me to kind of entice someone to come up and approach me about it. Eventually, this young man named Mike came up and approached me and asked me what I was doing, and I discussed with him the project I was going about doing, and asked him kind of, almost like, oh, hey, how about you participate in this with me? And at first he was kind of a little apprehensive about it, but he warmed up to the idea when I told him that there was no expectations. He could do however he wanted to do, and I had my uncle take the picture of the interaction, and we had a little bit of small talk, a little bit of, now I know him and I see him in the courtyard every now and then because he's a fellow neighbor, and that brief exchange has opened the door to being able to meet other people.
I was walking down, actually I went to the next building from where I worked, and I was just walking with a camera, looking for people. It seemed like there was nobody around. And I went to the basement of this building, and there was two girls sitting on the floor. And I just walked up to them, and I asked them if they would draw my portrait. And they didn't ask me who I was. They didn't question anything that I wanted to have this done. They just said sure and started drawing me. And it was funny because it's almost like these two girls were really about them having something to do with the relationship they were having with each other as best friends. I actually gave them a vehicle to laugh and tell stories about themselves. And I was kind of on the outside. I thought that it was really just about the two of them and what great friendship they acquired and believed in hanging out with each other about. So I was the outsider, and they both gave me a portrait. It was actually a really nice experience.